Hello, hello. This one's just going to be really quick. So, I have been doing intuitive eating, style eating for 1 week now. So, I thought I would quickly update you. So, I thought it was going to be really hard to let go of old habits, especially weighing everything, planning my meals down to a T, down to every single macro and calorie. And I was a bit worried that when it came to eating, I would either just spiral out of control and be eating cookies left, right, and center, or that I just wouldn't know what to eat and maybe then I wouldn't eat. But actually, it's been easier and more fun than I expected. So I've basically just been eating when I'm hungry, so honoring my hunger and not eating when I'm not hungry. And I've pretty much really stuck to like foods that I used to eat. So I've had like tofu salads, but then I've had things that maybe I wouldn't have had. So I've had a jacket potato with beans because I fancied it. Um, and just like, yeah, I used to allow myself to have treats at the weekend, but if I've wanted a treat in the week, then I would have had one. So yeah, there's no real big update really. Um, I used to stick to oats and protein shake for breakfast in the week just because it was quick and easy. Whereas now I've had things like protein smoothies, protein pancakes. Yeah, just been experimenting with different things and basically just having whatever I fancied. Um, Noticeable differences, I haven't actually been as hungry, and I definitely haven't been thinking about food as much as what I used to. And this was one of the things that was exhausting and doing my head in. So yeah, that's a real benefit so far. Um, Also, I feel like because you can go to the supermarket, and normally if I was dieting, I'd see something like hot cross buns, which are only around for Easter, right? And I'd be like, oh, I really wish I could have a hot cross bun, but there's no point. It's too many carbs, it's going to eat up too many of my calories, and it's just for what? A little hot cross bun. And then the whole way home, I'd be thinking, oh, wish I'd bought them hot cross buns. And it would start like I'd really be craving them, and I might look into, oh, how can I make like a macro friendly hot cross bun, etc. Whereas now I was in Asda the other day, seeing the hot cross buns, and I was like, ooh, and I was like, I could buy them if I wanted to. And then I was like, well, I don't really fancy them right now. But yeah, I will definitely get some before Easter is over and they disappear. But it was just nice. You can walk around the supermarket and you're like, I could have that if I want it. But do I really want it? Not right now. Bear it in mind for next time. If you really wanted it, you can have it. And I feel like because everything's now like of an abundance and I'm not restricting myself, it just, I don't be so food obsessed, if that makes sense. In terms of weighing myself, um, this was what I found harder. So it got to about Wednesday, and I was like, oh, I wonder if my weight's changed at all because I've had 2 days of eating however I want. And if the scales were there, I would have stood on them, but they weren't. So I didn't, got no idea where they are. It was weird again at the weekend because I always did my check in pictures, my check in weight, my measurements for years and years and years. And it was weird not standing on them. And again, I wanted to stand on them just to reassure myself that I haven't put on 100 pounds, but they weren't there. So I didn't. I've definitely been less body obsessed, so I haven't been looking in the mirror so much and being like, ooh, like feeling my stomach, like, am I fat? Um, Took a bikini picture this morning, and if anything, I don't want to overthink it because obviously I'm doing this for my health and my mental health and my happiness. Um, but obviously it's impossible not to look. If anything, I probably have lost weight this week, and I've never let myself go hungry. I've ate a variety of foods, mostly healthy foods, but unhealthy. We had cinnamon rolls, and we had like vegan ice cream, vegan fake Nando's that we made at home. So yeah, so far so good, feeling good. Haven't turned into like, and yeah, not so food obsessed. So I'll keep you updated because this video is going to be like 4 weeks. So, but at the end of week 1, so far so good. Hey, so it is the end of week 2, so I thought I'd give a quick update. I've just finished a gym session and little one is napping, so I'll have to be quick. So I'm gonna keep this like brutally honest. I have found week 2 a lot harder than week 1, which I think is normal because, you know, it can be literally anything when you have a new goal, whether it's to lose weight, a diet, learn a new language, read more books. You know, when you first set yourself that goal, you have that like idea, like it's buzzing in your head and you just can't wait to get started. So for instance, when you start a new diet, the first few days you will stick to it because it's new in your head, it's exciting, you've got that motivation. After like day 1 or day 2, you've got the momentum running. So I think last week I was basically running on momentum and was excited for a new challenge, and it felt easy-ish to begin with, easier than what I expected. Sorry, still out of breath from my workout. And then come week 2, I have found it slightly harder. So I think 1, I'm still trying to get my head around intuitive eating, and 2, like it's completely strange for me to just give myself permission to eat literally anything I want. Like if I want a donut, I can eat a donut. If I want carrots, I can eat carrot. If I want oats, I love oats. And last week I was quite good at just choosing what I wanted to eat. But deep down, I think subconsciously, like I've said before, because I've tracked for so long, so many years, I'm not like new to nutrition, if that makes sense. So I can just eyeball a bowl of oats and tell you how many grams of oats there is, how many calories are in it. Like the average person can't do that. So when it comes to intuitive eating, it's like subconsciously I'm still going to be, even if I'm choosing what I fancy to eat and eating when I'm hungry, subconsciously I'm still going to be making maybe healthier, or what I call healthier choices, or still be weighing up in my head, has this got protein in? Which isn't necessarily a bad thing because it's good to eat a balanced diet. But I think maybe last week I was probably under eating still, and not out of choice, but just subconsciously sticking to the habits that I have always stuck to, maybe. So this is the end of week 2, and this week I have ate more. So for instance, lockdown was lifted so you could have people to your garden. So it was really nice. My mum came to visit Kirsten and I, and she bought cake and little mini vegan Easter eggs, and I had some and didn't feel guilty at all, which obviously is progress and was really nice. But yeah, so this week I've probably ate more of what I fancied and tried to eat like a variety of things, eat more, but that has resulted in my clothes feeling tighter, which is obviously bound to happen. And I haven't actually exercised this week until today because I've hurt my knee, so I've been trying to give that some rest. So yeah, I've just been feeling a bit, but I will keep going and I will update you at the end of week 3. So yeah, just in conclusion, so I guess week 2 I've found harder, but I guess that happens with any goal that you have, whether it's to lose weight, to gain weight, to learn a language. Obviously the momentum starts slowing down, your motivation slows down, and it will be hard, but hopefully it will be worth it. And yeah, I've ate more this week and a more variety of things. I haven't felt guilty when I've ate bad things necessarily, but yeah, my clothes are feeling tighter, so we'll see what happens next week. So we are now at the end of week 3 of me doing this intuitive eating journey. I'm walking, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me and I'm not too out of breath, and it's not actually windy today, it's boiling. So anyway, let's just cut to it. So yeah, week 3. So what I've been feeling this week is actually lockdown was kind of lifted so that we could have people come to the garden, which is really exciting. So I've seen a few friends this week that I haven't seen for a long time, and my initial thinking was a bit like panic. So like I've said before, for me, body image, I say body image didn't play the whole part in like why I always tracked my food. There was other reasons as well, but I guess obviously I was a bodybuilder and I liked like going to the gym, exercising, controlling my food, because I could see how it changed my body, etc. And I think when you're a bikini girl, obviously, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but the whole thing with bodybuilding is the end result is to stand on a stage and be compared to the person next to you, the other person next to you, be moved around the stage, and you literally just get compared. And now we're living in a society where everything is like, don't compare yourself, like obviously don't look at Instagram because it's someone's highlight reel, it's not real life, pictures can be edited, etc. But obviously the whole nature of bodybuilding is you are going to be compared to the person next to you, so you do have to have like thick skin, and obviously most people do it as a goal because they want to get to stage. They don't think about being compared to the person next to them. It's just obviously that's part and parcel of what comes with it. So obviously it can lead to like body image stuff. For example, like obviously you're always thinking, am I lean enough? I'm 6 weeks out, am I going to be lean enough? So I guess you're spending quite a lot of time thinking about what you look like. Sorry, I am quite out of breath, aren't I? So yeah, so where I'm going with this is obviously we was allowed people to come to the garden, and my first emotion was yay, get to see friends that I haven't seen for ages, and yay, Kirsten actually gets to see people. So yeah, but then the next thought that entered my head, bearing in mind I'm an intelligent human being, and I know even if I'd just ate pure shit like pizza, cake, takeaway, brownies, Indian, Chinese for the whole 3 weeks, that I wouldn't have morphed into an absolute beast. And obviously that isn't the case because I've still been eating quite healthily anyway. But the first, after excitement, the second emotion that hit me was, oh my god, what are they going to think of me? What can I wear? Like, what can I wear to hide like my body? It's just like really sad, isn't it, that was the second opinion. Then obviously my friends come, and my friends like me for me being me, and probably didn't even notice that my body has even changed, because I mean it's been 3 weeks. Like I said, it won't have changed that much. So that was just me being, well, I say being silly, but you can't help what you feel, can you? But yeah, I was talking to one of my closest friends about doing this whole journey thing. She's really supportive of it. God, why is it so hard to push a pram and walk? And anyway, she said that when I was doing prep that she kind of like lost me a bit as a friend, which made me sad, because I always tried to stay social while I was in prep, etc. But if you've ever done a bodybuilding prep, you know that literally your world, it doesn't have to be like this, but for me, my world revolved around eating, training, cardio, posing, etc. So when people used to invite me to social events, it's so sad. I used to pretty much feel like it was a pain in the bum having to go to a social event, which obviously we've just had a year of lockdown. If anybody wants to invite me to a social event, I'm there. I am there. But yeah, it's quite sad really. I used to just think of how could I get out of it, or I would go, but I would only drink water. Everyone else would be having like a nice meal. And if I'm 3-4 weeks out of a show, I'd just be sipping on my water, wishing that I was at home in bed. You'd just be tired from getting up to do cardio before work, etc. So she said, yeah, there was one time that we went to a comedy show and I just sat there with like a face like thunder, which obviously I didn't realise I was doing. And to be fair, we can both admit that I don't like being negative about anyone, but I don't know who the comedians were, but they weren't that funny, to be honest. But we're the type of people that would have laughed and laughed and laughed just because it was so rubbish. But she said she couldn't like get a smile out of me, and that made me really sad. And she said another time we went to the cinema and I wouldn't even like have a black coffee or like one bit of popcorn. So yeah, I'm kind of excited for this journey that I can actually experience things. Like, I know some of you watching this will probably be on prep. Oh god, there's people coming now. And I'm not knocking that at all. And you can make memories. Like, I went on loads of holidays while I was on prep, visited loads of places. Like, obviously you can do things that don't revolve around food. So like, you can still go to the cinema and watch the film, etc. But for me, it kind of is just exciting that I can experience things, because food is a big part of life. You don't have to go mad. Like, I know how I used to be on holiday and all inclusive. I used to eat one of everything at the buffet and then go back again. I'm not saying I want to be like that, but on other holidays I took my own food with me and just stared at the buffet longingly. So yeah, other things. Yeah, so obviously I was feeling a bit like, people are going to start noticing that my body's changing or whatever. I am very open and about what I'm doing, etc. And hang on, going uphill. I'm sure this is the most flattering angle, not. Yeah, so yeah, I was worrying about my body image, etc., which I guess is normal. I suppose when you go on a diet, you kind of think after a few days like, whoa, am I skinny yet? It's kind of, I suppose I'm like doing the reverse, aren't I? Like, I'm anti-dieting, so now I'm like, oh, am I really obese now? Which we know that dieting for 3 days, you're not gonna look like a Victoria's Secret model, and we know that not dieting, you're not gonna literally like pile on 500 stone straight away. And then obviously, like, I don't want to make this about me at all, because it's like literally the worst news ever, but the news about baby Azalea, if you follow Ashley Kane, obviously that's been everywhere this week. It's so sad, and it's just like a giant wake-up call, isn't it? Like, why does it matter? Why does anything matter when people are going through that? Like, it's just so sad. Also, this week is the anniversary of when I got attacked by a dog. So it's too long to go into now, but exactly 6 years ago, I was attacked by a dog and he went straight in for the kill, and I was in hospital for a bit, had operations, blah de blah. And I try and practice gratitude every day of my life. Especially, it's easier now I've got little Kiki. Obviously he is always top of my list. But yeah, obviously I think everyone's guilty of just going through life like just bumbling along sometimes. And then the anniversary is always just a massive wake-up call to just be grateful for every day. Life is short, and ultimately you just have to do what makes you happy. So obviously there was a part of my life where bodybuilding was making me super happy. It was my goals, it was everything that I wanted, and now it's not anymore. So this is my new journey. So I'm going into week 4 feeling super positive. I think this is a long one, sorry. Hi. So it is now coming up to the end of week 4 of me being on this new journey, this new challenge. So I thought I would update you quickly how I felt this week. I have been writing notes so it's easier for me to remember how I felt each day. So at the start of this week, we had kind of like a mini heat wave. It seems to be though that the only place that had it was like my town, because on Instagram everyone else has had snow, rain, freezing. So don't know what's going on, but I'm not complaining. Anyway, my lovely fiance bought me a new sun lounger. So obviously I tested it out, and you know me, if you follow me on Instagram, I literally don't need an excuse to take a picture. Get a new sun lounger, I want a picture. Get a new outfit, want a picture. Like drinking my ugly drink, I want a picture. So I asked him to take some pictures of me, and my God, when I looked at them, my first thoughts were like, 1, I need a tan desperately, and 2, I was just like really disappointed. Which I do want to say, obviously I know I'm not massive and I don't want to offend anyone, because I've had it before where this is years and years ago, before I did bodybuilding, I posted a picture. I must have only been like a size 10 or 12, and I was talking about my insecurities, and somebody that was a lot bigger messaged me and said like, how do you think it makes me feel when you're saying you feel insecure? Like, how do you think that makes me feel? So I don't ever want to offend anyone. So I'm always trying to be mindful of what I say and how I articulate it. But obviously you can have insecurities at any size. I think even when I was like a size 2, size 4, I was probably way more insecure then than what I am now. But of course I don't ever want to offend anyone. So yeah, looking at the pictures, I was a bit like, I was thinking I can't post them anywhere. Like, I need a tan, maybe. And my first initial thought was, okay, realistically, we've still got a good few months before the summer weather. I could go on a diet now and be back in my like size 6 to 8 by summer. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then I was like, no, Charlotte, stop there. We're on a new journey now. I looked at the pictures again. I didn't even look bad. I just look different to how I used to look. I feel like in my head, I'm still expecting myself to look exactly how I looked before when I was tiny. And I know this isn't even, it's a common thing like postpartum. It's hard for women to accept their new bodies sometimes. No matter how many times you're like, oh, my body's a miracle, it created a life, my little baby grew in here, it's still hard to accept sometimes your body's literally changed. But I think a lot of competitors also go through this as well. Obviously, you're teeny tiny for stage, and then afterwards you have to put on weight. Nobody can stay that teeny tiny forever, and it's hard to see your body change again. So yeah, so that was my first thoughts this week, but then I was like, no, we're on a new journey now. So overall, I am actually, I can't explain, like on Monday I just woke up and I just felt so happy. Like, I'm a happy person anyway, but I just felt like over the moon happy, and I didn't even really know why. And I don't know if it's because of this new journey I'm on, or obviously lockdown started easing on Monday, so I think everybody felt more positive. There was like positivity vibes in the air. But yeah, I was just super happy. And when I stop and think about it, I just feel like, I can't really explain, but I have so much more like mental space, and like that I'm not worrying about stuff anymore. So when I was tracking all my food, I was just constantly thinking, okay, I need to have made all my food. Okay, so breakfast is this. Okay, I'm hungry again. Next meal. Just thinking about food all the time. So I take my little one for a walk in the morning, and straight after I normally do exercise. So while I was out on my walk, I'd be thinking, okay, what have I got to train today? Need to get the dumbbells ready, need to get this. And it's just felt like a lot of, I didn't really realize it at the time, but it felt like a lot of stress going on in my mind. Where now I just kind of feel like when I'm out on my walk, I'm like, okay, what do I fancy doing today? Maybe I'll do some yoga. Maybe I'll have a rest day. maybe I will go on the bike for a little bit. Like, I just feel like there's no pressure on myself. And of course, it was only me putting that pressure on myself. Because I was tracking my food, I was like religiously sticking to my macros and calories. And so I was trying to stick to about 1,800 calories a day, which while I'm breastfeeding was probably too low. Back in the day when I was a bodybuilder, if I had to stick to 1,200 calories or whatever, I would not go over, like point blank, would not go over. Whereas now, I was trying to stick to 1,800 and it would get to the evening and I just felt like I needed something else. Otherwise, if you know with a baby, they wake up in the night and it would be like 2 a.m. and I would be starving and I'd have to go in the kitchen and find something to eat, which is less than ideal at 2 a.m. And so I was just like, come about 8, 9 o'clock at night, I was having a little bit extras of things. And I was just feeling guilty because I'm like a bit of a perfectionist. So once you set a goal at 1,800 calories, I'm the kind of person, even if I went over by 1,850 calories, I would then be thinking, oh, I haven't achieved my goal, and started feeling bad. And then now looking back at it, it's like, okay, so I had like half a sweet potato or a little bowl of cereal or a little bowl of oats, and it's like, why was I feeling guilty about that when I clearly needed that food? And like, if someone says to you, oh my god, I've had a massive binge and I've had 69 donuts and a pizza and an Indian takeaway and 49 chocolate bars, which is fine, by the way, but if someone says that to you, you can kind of understand, okay, maybe you did go a bit OTT. Whereas if someone says to you, oh yeah, so I had an extra half a sweet potato, it's like, big deal. Like, why was I going to bed feeling guilty when I'm feeding my baby, making milk for my baby? I feel happy that I'm not in that kind of mindset right now. So yeah, anyway, that's that. So yesterday I went shopping because Costa had 50p hot drinks and I had to go and change Kirsten's library books, and I went in New Look because they had 25% off everything, and I bought myself a new little play suit. So I found it hard really because I don't know what size I am anymore, and obviously can't try clothes on. So that was a bit of a weird experience. And anyway, I found this play suit I really wanted, and I guess I would have been looking at buying a size 10, but I don't know if that would have fitted or not. But they actually only had size 12s. So I bought the size 12. I haven't tried it on yet, but that's obviously, a size 12 is not big at all. I'm not saying it is, but you have to understand, obviously last summer I was pregnant, so that was different. The summer before, I was fitting in like a size 2 to 4 clothes, so it is obviously a massive difference. But it's a healthier difference, I think. Like, some people are healthier at size 2 to 4. That might be their natural lean physique, but for me, like, I had to work my balls off to be like that, and I wasn't necessarily healthy. So yeah, I've been looking into so obviously one of the main reasons I'm doing this, obviously for my mental health, but also for my actual health. So I don't know if I've mentioned in this video already, but I haven't had periods for years and years and years and years, which can be due to like over exercising, under eating, and like hormone imbalances and stuff. So one of my main reasons for doing this is to try and get my period back. Obviously I didn't have a period when I was pregnant, and then breastfeeding can stop it coming back as well. But for years before that, I just never had one. So I'm trying to make good choices and eat more for that reason. And the research that I do says really you should be eating like 2,500 calories a day at least if you're suffering with this problem. So I'm trying to eat more. Obviously it's good to make good choices for yourself and your health for yourself, but I am finding it quite a lot easier because I've got my little boy. Like, I'm trying to make good choices for him as well. Like, I'm sure loads of people do it, like if you're massively, massively, massively overweight, or you're a smoker, or you've just got things that you could make better about yourself, like in terms of health. I'm sure loads of people do it when they have children. It's a wake up call, and like it's easier to do something. Well, for me anyway, it's easier to focus on getting better for him. So what I'm finding, so when I'm eating my food, I'm actually finding that I'm like way more grateful for food, and like the choices that I'm making. So for instance, when I was tracking my food, I would literally eat the same thing for every meal Monday to Friday, because I food prepped, which does make sense when you're a mum and you're a busy mum. It makes sense to have your food ready to just grab it. You know that you've always got something healthy in the fridge, but obviously eating the same thing every day when you're suffering with like what I was suffering from is probably not the best idea. And I guess I was just eating my food like mindlessly, like, oh, it's breakfast now, eat, eat, eat. Oh, it's lunch now, eat, eat, eat. And I wasn't fully like in the moment, grateful, enjoying it. Whereas now I'm more enjoying it. And I've learned as well, there's a difference between feeling full and feeling satisfied. So like some of the times, obviously when I was eating 1,800 calories, some of the times, well, a lot of the times when I was eating my meals, I wasn't hungry straight after. I was eating a substantial meal, but it wasn't necessarily what I was fancying at the time or craving at the time. And it may have left me full, but I wasn't ever like fully satisfied. And so then it would leave me feeling restricted and like I wanted something else that would, like something that I was actually craving. And I don't mean like craving things like ice cream, pizza, etc., but like things like I like different textures in my food. So like nowadays I like keep sprinkling pumpkin seeds on my food, which is great, healthy, whatever. But it gives me that like crunch, whereas before it was just eating the same thing all the time. So I've realized there's a difference, like it's good to feel satisfied with what you're eating. And sometimes as well, like if you've been restricting your food for ages and ages and ages, it's completely normal to maybe fancy something like, I don't know, like a brownie. And back in the day I might have like been researching how to make like a macro friendly protein brownie, which, don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed. But sometimes it's just better to eat that brownie that you're fancying. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling with food. I'm trying to like pay attention when I'm eating, but obviously not always easy when you've got a little one running around. Sometimes we literally like also in terms of eating, I eat with my partner a lot more now. And because of society has always been like women should eat less than men, I've got quite a hench fit boyfriend. If I ever catch myself now like eating more than him, I'm like, and then I have to remember, well, no, actually, because I might have had a busy day and not eaten as much as him in the day. I might have been out and about with the baby, and he could have been had a slow day at work and been eating all day long. Like, so to that. One of the things that I was really worried about when I started like this intuitive eating was like losing control and just eating my way to oblivion. But somebody told me this, which was really good. So say you're really craving ice cream and someone says to you, okay, go to the shop, you can literally buy as much ice cream as you want, whipped cream to go on top, sprinkles, flake, anything ice cream related, wafers, and you're going to eat it for every meal for a day. So you might be like, whoa, I've literally been eating salad, I can have ice cream now. So imagine like for breakfast, so you make yourself like this biggest sundae ever, sprinkles on top, wafer, flake, and you eat it. You're obviously going to feel satisfied and be like, yeah. Then come a few hours later, you'll be hungry again. So you might have a bowl of ice cream with some sauce on. You might start feeling a bit sick of this now. Come lunch, you make yourself another sundae. You don't really want it anymore because you'll start craving like real good nutritious food. Nobody's gonna literally live off ice cream sundaes all day every day. It's the same as like when you go, like, I don't know, on a day out to a theme park, and breakfast you might stop at like a service station and have like Greggs, and then lunch you might go to the pizza place at the theme park. You'll be drinking like Coke and having ice cream and candy floss, and then dinner you might stop off for like pub meal, or I don't know, you might get home and have a Domino's. Like the next day you're literally just craving like healthy food, aren't you? Like there's nothing wrong with like treating yourself, but you're not ever gonna literally want that food all day every day, because everybody craves like food that makes them feel really really good, and they make you feel good for different reasons. So that stopped that worry. And yeah, so I have rambled on a lot now, so I hope that's helped, and I probably will make some more videos about different kind of things with my intuitive eating journey. But yeah, 4 weeks on, I'm not afraid to say that there's been struggles. I'm still struggling with stuff now, but I just do definitely feel like this is the right journey for me, and I just feel happy, and hopefully we'll be healthier for my little boy and for me. And yeah, thanks for watching.